Hello, I'm Poch, and today I paid my taxes.
Hi, I'm Gabe, and this week I paid for my credit card bill.
And you are listening to the DDLD podcast with Poch and Gabe, a show where 20-year-old somethings discuss life living in the Philippines versus living now in the US.
Today, on this sofa, we'll be talking about our current financial situations, the things we pay for, the things that we buy, and the things that we're hopefully able to save up for.
Yeah. So we are now into quarter two of this year of the year. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the and
And
then
then
this,
this,
so it became these.
these.
So it is officially spring in the northern hemisphere of the world.
Woo-hoo.
Hooray! My new favorite season, by the way.
Okay.
By the way. And aside from being allergy season for Gabe, who is
Yeah, you can hear it. I'm so sorry.
audibly
Congested.
congested, it is also tax season in the United States.
Boo.
And to be honest, we didn't know what we were gonna talk about for this week until today. I filed my taxes, and just to give the background, the the deadline for filing taxes is on April 15, and as of filming this, it's April 14. So I was pretty clutch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes. And not to mention, so here, I mean, I'm not used to filing taxes because
Mhm.
I think in the Philippines, it's really your employer.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're employed, who withholds your tax
and handles, I
and
think, most
handles
of the
like most of it,
paperwork.
right?
Yeah.
I think we're kind of spoiled
In that way,
in
yeah.
that sense.
Or the people here are just treated poorly that they have to do it themselves. What if majority of the world has employers doing it? It doesn't matter. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, but since we are now, mid 20s, we've had a few years of paying taxes and whatever.
Mm.
And in the Philippines, when your employer pays for your taxes, you kind of just you don't know. I mean, you know that some part of your salary is withheld, right?
Yeah.
But you don't really have a reminder, or I don't know if I filed my taxes correctly, but I mean in the Philippines, but
Yeah.
I don't know how much I actually paid unless
Unless I think you asked,
you ask them
I don't know if it's the bank. Probably not the bank, but
the 10. You're like 10. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
But
don't know
I
shit.
don't know. But you probably have, there's probably a piece of paper somewhere
Yeah, but
that
you're. I mean,
summarizes it.
but you're constantly reminded that you already paid these taxes
Yeah.
every month or every 2 weeks when you see your salary and there's a
Mhm.
deduction, like it goes to PhilHealth or wherever. So you're like, okay, more or less you pay taxes. But here you file your taxes on your own, and you know how much you pay, and it's a lot, man.
Well, I think you have to explain also that it's not that employers don't withhold taxes. Some employers do, I think.
My
Mine,
yeah,
oh sorry, mine does.
yeah.
I believe. I, I mean, it is my understanding that they withheld my taxes, and I thought yours did too.
Not all of it, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
there was a surprise.
Yeah. A
You
very
owe
big
us.
surprise. It's a good thing I had the money to do so, but
Yeah.
it was just I was not prepared to pay that much.
Yep.
Yeah. And I can say I did my taxes properly. But yeah, it's a rude awakening because it really reminds you that you are an adult now,
Mm.
and your money's not yours, not all of it. Like you owe some to somebody's gonna have a piece of that. Either if it's the government, if you're renting, you have a landlord.
Yeah.
If you've owned a house, unless you bought it straight up cash, which
Good
kudos
for
to you if you
you.
can do that. But if you can't, you're paying your
Mortgage.
mortgage. You're paying utilities. You're paying for your phone.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I just remembered all of those things, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not yet done paying my bills."
Yeah.
Like I have all
See,
of those
these
other
are these are
things this
things
month.
that we now have to
Mm.
think about, because I think when we were both living in Manila, we were with our parents,
Yes.
and they kind of took the brunt. Like basically, for most of our lives, the brunt of paying for expenses landed on our parents'
Yeah.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
But now, as we're adults now and we're living
Oh yeah.
away from them, it's I can't ask my parents to pay for my taxes.
Have you
Um,
tried?
No, I can't. I
Okay.
can't. I can't. I mean, it's a it's a.
Can you
I
imagine?
was I was telling Gabe because she was beside me when I was doing my taxes, and she saw how much I had to pay, and I said, "Holy crap!" I mean, the taxes I paid for 2023 is more than how much I was being paid in a year with my first job in Manila.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how sad it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it also brings it to perspective what opportunities we have now, right? With like what Spider-Man, like what Uncle Ben said in Spider-Man, with great power comes
Great
great
responsibility.
responsibility. So I feel like we wanted to tackle now that we're in the later stage of 20s where it's
Oh, we are.
yeah.
Well, I'm still mid. No, don't quote me that. I didn't. That's not what I meant. I'm still in the
Uh,
middle. I'm still
sure. Yeah.
25.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I guess you're still mid 20s.
I'm in my mid 20s. Yeah. I mean, to Poch's point, it really was a rude awakening having to suddenly have all the bills addressed to you.
Mm-hmm.
And f- I I wouldn't say finally, but suddenly having this burden of paying XYZ every month.
Yeah.
Um when I was younger, I used to get excited over the idea of, having my own place and decorating it and, just being the boss of my own place. And maybe I got that because I played a lot of My Scene games where you decorate rooms and
As in the
things like
dolls.
that. Oh, myscene.com, like
Oh,
online.
because my sister had my scene dolls,
Oh, good for her.
but it's
I
not
don't.
that.
Yeah, it's an
Okay.
online game where
All right.
you decorate rooms. And I really like games like that. So, as a kid, I was like, I can't wait to,
Be an adult.
to be an adult and have this control over what color my room is going to be. Yeah, nobody tells you that when you reach a certain age, you have to pay rent. You have to pay for your electric bill. You have to pay for your gas bill. You have to pay for water. You have to pay for your phone bill, your Wi Fi bill, everything, your transportation costs.
Well, I mean, to be fair, our transportation costs, if you discount, because we barely Uber.
Yeah, but still, that's another thing.
Yeah.
And then really like the taxes thing. And for people who are curious, I am not a US resident. Like I am on a student visa and yes, I am required to file taxes. Even when I was a student, which was last year, I had to file taxes.
Because you
This
were earning, right? As a
no,
as a TA.
no, that was non-taxable because of the way
So what
the
did you
money.
file?
They just needed the paperwork.
Okay.
So I think that one, and then okay, I don't know if this was something, but then we won a prize for a competition we joined, and then it,
IRS,
and then,
IRS.
I don't know if
Get
that
her.
counted, but then we asked the school, and I don't think they got back to us in time, or they probably said, no, no, no. So I was like, okay, but anyway,
I think it's if it's below a certain threshold,
okay,
it's not
good because
taxable.
I
Yeah.
mean that was not.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no. Like if you
yeah,
make below a certain
XYZ,
yeah, like if
yeah.
you I think it's if you make below $16,000 a year.
Oh, as a student, I definitely made below that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so last year I filed the document. I sent it out in the mail, but there were barely any numbers on it. This year I filed my taxes because I have a job, and thankfully all of the taxes that were required of me were withheld. So I didn't have to go through what Poch went through where it was like a surprise after preparing the documents that, oh, you actually owe the government money. In my case, the government owed me money because they withheld too much, which thank you in advance for that.
Yeah, the government's not giving me back my money.
Yeah, you gave it to
Yeah,
them.
I already
They
paid.
requested
Yeah.
it from you.
But anyway, I mean, on top of like mandatory payments, like for example, we were talking about tax and everything. I feel like we still have time to, spend on stuff that we actually like,
Yeah.
which is I think it's a different degree now Because obviously, when we first started working and we started seeing, the checks coming in every 2 weeks, every month,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it's the first time we actually held that kind of money.
Yeah.
So we were more emboldened to like buy stuff. Like I'm sure you bought a bunch of stuff that you didn't necessarily need,
No comment.
but you wanted to buy it anyway.
I think at that point, and I don't know if the same goes for you, but just go back to the first ever paycheck you received here. My immediate thought was a conversion to pesos. Like I just converted my first paycheck during my internship. I converted
Mm-hmm.
it and I was like, "Whoa, this is great.
This is
This is great."
thanks
And I was
America.
like, "You know what? Let's go shopping or let's have dinner." Little did I know that that's
Yeah.
not a livable like
Yeah.
paycheck.
Yeah.
I was celebrating over crumbs, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And until now, like I'm making more than at that than I did at that internship. But still, when you realize that yes, you are making more if you convert, um, your the share of your expenses here is so much greater than like the share of expenses at
Yeah.
home. I
Mm-hmm.
think
Mm-hmm.
it's just it's hard. You have to stop yourself from getting too excited
Yeah.
because then you're gonna start going into like this spending frenzy, and you think like, oh, I'm gonna budget, and I think we do try to budget. Like
Mm-hmm.
I count every single expenditure that I make towards certain categories, and I minimize those that aren't essential. So my fun purchases I usually try to keep very low. Um, but sometimes you get carried away, and sometimes you don't foresee the need to save. Like, I think it's such a dangerous mindset to, as soon as you get the paycheck, you immediately think, okay, what are the things I have to pay for this month? So, rent, utilities, etc. And then immediately the next thing you do is, okay, all this remaining money is for fun. Like, I can splurge. Well, that's dangerous, especially with a wedding on the way.
Yeah. So most of our savings, I think, is going towards our wedding fund, and
General Life Together Fund.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because it's expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
so
Another rude awakening.
yeah. So I had one of my friends, shout out Toots. He checked like a few hotels in the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines regarding how much, just a quote for how much it would um amount to renting,
Using the
yeah, like using a
ballroom.
ballroom for
How many people?
X amount of people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a big number.
Yeah.
And I was telling, I told Gabe, I said, I don't know anyone with this much money just lying around. But it's something that we are gonna have to do. So because we decided to do it. Yeah.
It's because I said yes.
Okay. What the?
Just kidding.
No, I'm just, I know.
No, but yeah, I was telling Poch too. Like, I was having a conversation with my parents about me telling them that I didn't realize it was that expensive, and then of course they come with a reality check saying, "Well, actually,
Get
it'll
more
be more
yeah,
expensive
because you're getting
than
married
that."
next year.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
obviously prices change. And then, growing up, being the type of person I am, I have made Pinterest boards for my wedding since I was what? Since I first discovered Pinterest, okay?
Same. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No. Fuck no.
And, in my head, I was always like, I was never drawn to the idea of having a small wedding. Like, I wanted a really nice one, all the works, all the flowers, etc. Yeah.
On whose dime, buddy?
Yeah, now it's like, wait a minute. I have to pay for that.
How much? How much are the flowers? No,
No.
How much is it per head?
Oh, no.
Get the fuck out of here,
We're
man.
not
No,
eating.
no.
Actually, this is A merienda.
Actually, everyone will be eating McDonald's for our reception.
Actually, it's potluck.
Yeah. But I mean, if you don't bring food, you're not eating. So, no, I mean, I wish it was that way,
Yeah.
but unfortunately it's not. And yeah. So, we have a lot of things to save for, but I feel like when we do spend on things that we enjoy, it's not necessarily it doesn't go to nowhere. Like for example, we both just bought shoes.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
And it's not like these shoes are like some shoes that we'll never wear, but it was pretty pricey, but I know that we're going to use them for more than a few years.
I mean, I hope so.
Me too.
I'm gonna make myself use them.
They're nice. They're
Yeah. Are you just saying this to defend the purchase?
Oh no, I
Oh,
really
you really believe it?
So when I saw this thing online that says like, oh, if you want to buy something, think about like let it rest
oh yes,
in your
yes,
head,
yes.
and then if you the next week or day,
If you still want
if you still
it.
want
Yeah.
it, then fine, okay. Like if you can afford to do it, it's not gonna put a strain on your budget. Okay, go ahead. And I've been thinking about getting these shoes for like a month. I think we went to the city 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago to
more
even
more than 2 weeks ago.
we went to the city to check
Mhm.
because I didn't want to buy. Sorry, excuse me. I feel like when you buy shoes, you have to try them on.
IRL.
Yeah, in real life. I mean, as much as you know your shoe size, you'd probably want to wear them before
Mhm.
purchasing, especially when it's a pricey shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to check, and it was really comfortable. And it's hard to get shoes for myself because I have wide feet,
Mm.
and when I wear regular, I mean, not regular. Well, yeah, regular. Like
Narrow.
it's narrower than what my
What
foot
you
is.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my feet hurt when I walk to work, like when I commute. So I wanted a shoe that when I'm walking, I know my feet won't hurt because I do a lot of walking to go to the office. And yeah, so I know I'm gonna use it, and that was a splurge. I mean, we had fun buying the shoes. We had fun wearing them today when we went out. So I don't feel bad about that. I think another splurge that well, not really a splurge, but another fun thing that we did. Gabe and I enjoy watching concerts.
Yes.
Um, we don't watch one every month. I mean, if there was one, why not?
No, if there's an artist that we like,
Yeah, I
then we
mean,
would try to get tickets.
because when how I think about it, it's like I did not have this opportunity to watch these artists
Yeah.
back home because like everyone knows when an artist says world tour, they're only talking about the US and Europe, maybe Japan.
Yeah.
I guess now Singapore's in the mix and Australia. And if you're not in any of those countries, good luck to you, bro.
Yeah.
So, but then now that we're like, okay, for sure, if there's a major artist who has a concert, they're coming to New York, and
Yeah.
we're gonna be able to see them. So I think that's one of not a vice, but it's something that Gabe and I enjoy spending money on together. We watched the Olivia Rodrigo concert this week.
Yes.
It was fun.
That was good.
I mean, I don't look like I'm the demographic for her music, but very fun concert.
Surprisingly, Poch wanted the tickets more than I did.
It was a good album. I mean, it
Yeah.
is a good album.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, but I
yeah.
just said that as proof that you might
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
look like the demographic, but you're very
Yeah.
into her music.
I'm not gonna be pretentious and say, "Oh, I listen to high art." No, man, I listen to pop. What the fuck? I mean, it was fun. It was a fun concert. Um, I think I said it was top 5.
It was in your top 5
Yeah.
concerts.
But yeah, I mean, those like experiences, shoes that'll help us. I mean, those are things that we splurge on. I bought a crock pot this
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Yeah, because
That's a good investment.
I've been living alone for the last week,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been cooking meals on my own.
Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. Drop your crock pot recipes. Don't drop the crock pot. That's a waste of crock pot. But a crock pot is basically a slow cooker, if you
Yeah.
didn't know what that is. And it's fun. I've been experimenting on recipes I saw online, and the results have been really good. Like the food's really good. So yeah, I mean, when I buy stuff, I mean for me in terms of like what I choose to buy, I always think that it's gonna help my like quality of life. I don't buy anything just cause I want to buy it. Versus like, when I buy this, it'll help me do X better. Like when I bought the crock pot, it helped me cook food better, faster, stronger. Shout out Kanye West. I mean, not shout out Kanye West. But yeah, no. I mean, when I bought the shoes, it's gonna help me be more comfortable during my commute. When we bought the tickets to Olivia Rodrigo, it helped me have a better experience that Monday night. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's I guess that's how our consumption has changed. Like we didn't spend on concerts back then. I think
I did.
okay, because you could afford to do so. I could not.
What?
I could. The only concert I could afford was like Wonderland.
Oh my god, I thought you were about to say One Direction. And I was like, you were there.
Nah, dude. I mean, no, this. Just I wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember saving up for Wonderland before. Like I would
Yeah.
save up a
Yeah,
lot
me
because
too.
Wonderland tickets were expensive for students who had no income.
I had
It
no
was
income.
saving allowance.
In fact, I had the income I had. I'd have to like think about, okay, this is how much I'm spending on our date. This is how much I'm spending on actual food, and whatever's left maybe goes to like a savings for Wonderland. Yeah. So yeah, you know what? As much as times are like kind of hard now about paying mandatory stuff, like the expenses are higher now. It's still better than being broke as shit back in college. I don't know how I did it. We used to live on no, I used to live on how much? I would live on $60-$70 a week.
Yep. And you had to pay for gas,
I had to pay for gas,
food.
food for 5 days, whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, $70, $60, and that's a lot if you think about it. Like not a lot of people had the same
Mm-hmm.
allowance, and they probably had to do more. So
Yeah.
shout out to the grinders. Shout out to you grinders in college. Keep grinding. You're a grinder. Wait. Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what?
Well, keep doing that too. If that's
That's
what
your
if that's what
thing.
you like, do what you need to do. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, tough times never last.
Last people.
Tough times never last. Only tough people.
do
No,
last.
tough times never last. Only tough people last.
I was gonna say tough times never last. Last people tough. I was like, wait, no.
The last people are tough. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if anything we're saying is making sense, but yeah.
I think also, so while I was, doing credit card bill payments, I thought about, wow, credit cards are dangerous because
Oh, you should.
what?
So when Gabe first got her credit card, she it was her first credit card. So here how it works is they set a limit for
Mhm.
you,
I think it's
right?
the same in Manila.
No, but your limit was basically like
Oh yeah, barely anything.
let's give an arbitrary number. It was $100, right?
Uh,
Like just
okay,
arbitrary. Yeah, arbitrary
yeah,
number, not
sure.
the real $100 for the whole month. That's what Gabe had on her credit card. I was like, okay, and then now we have like a shared credit card.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabe's credit score went up
Mm-hmm.
because she pays on time and everything. So her credit limit basically went from $100 to, let's say, like $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, or $2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now she's like, I think I can buy more stuff. I'm like, what? No, 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 no. Just because they give you credit for the month, that doesn't mean you have to use everything for the month. And she's like, why not? It's like, think about it, bro. That's not what it's for.
I know.
That's how they rope you into like debt.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just the how do I say this? It's the coming to terms with the fact that a credit card is not fun money. Like it's real money.
Yeah, it's real
that
money.
need
You
to
gotta
have.
pay. You gotta at the
I
end of
know
the
what
month.
I'm
You're paying for
saying
the
is
bill.
this is the first time where in my life so far, I'm only 25, so it's not a lot, but this is the first time in my life where I have to pay for that. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh, credit card. Ah, it's
Mm-hmm.
not fun money. It's not emergency funds. It's you decide to pay this, you're gonna pay for it in a few weeks. And that's a thing about credit cards. Like sometimes, like when we go out and like, oh, let's get a donut, or
Like
let's
today.
yeah, like today, like let's have some coffee. You're like, okay, just use the card, and then that piles up and you forget that you did XYZ that day, and it's like, oh my god. And then every month I go through, like, ever since I've had these credit cards, let's say since like November last year, about that long, I think. Since I've had these credit cards, I tell myself, okay, no more this. Next time I go out, I'm not gonna do this.
Let me guess, you did that
I'm
anyway.
still doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's something I have to deal with, obviously. But if my parents are listening to this, don't worry, I'm okay. Like I'm not I'm not in debt. I'm good.
We are fiscally
We're
responsible.
we're I'm just trying to get a grip on things. Like I'm trying not to get too excited.
Yeah.
And I think it's working. Every month I do something better. Like for example, okay, fun fact, and I don't know if it's fun, but did you know that space heaters take up so much of your electric consumption that, okay, basically a space heater is something that you plug in and that will radiate heat. So
It's the heater version of an electric fan.
yeah, so it's different from the building heater. It's different from like the what it's different, okay? Anyway, so when the months were super cold, I kept them on because I was cold, and the space heaters had like a timer button, and I was like, why do you need a why would you
Why would I
why
not want
would
to be
I,
warm?
yeah, like I want to be toasty the whole night. I mean, I understand that there might be like a fire hazard or like, overheating, but it will automatically turn off anyway if there's like an overheating problem. So of course I kept it on the whole night. Um my electric bill tripled in those months.
Congratulations.
And I was like, what the heck? I was not prepared to pay that much. But obviously it's a bill. I had to pay for it. Oh my god. Anyway,
Yeah.
I completely stopped myself from using a space heater this past month because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be paying that much again for electric.
At least now you know because you stopped using it this
Yeah,
month,
so
right?
at least now I know that
It was
that was the
that was
reason.
the reason why it went up so
Yeah,
high.
because now my electric bill is back to normal. I stopped using it for a month. I promised myself I was not going to turn it on even for 1 second, and I did not.
To be fair, it got warmer. I mean, I don't think you would need it.
I get cold in the morning.
Okay.
So I usually
So,
have it
yeah.
on while I'm working, but then I said, nope, I'm just gonna pile on some blankets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's those things too, and I think
There are a lot of workarounds that
yeah,
we've had to do. For example, Gabe and I, when we were back in Manila, we used to like to go out all the time to
all the time,
eat
and
out,
like eat
whatever.
at like nice places, like nice
Yeah,
sit
like
down
nice
places.
sit down places, which is the dream, right? I don't want to cook, I don't want to clean. I just want to eat a nice meal,
Yeah.
go home. That's it. Now, obviously we're saving up for the wedding and we have more expenses, like we just mentioned. So we've been learning how to cook things at home. This the stuff we wanted to cook. Like today we cooked
Oyakudon.
oyakudon. And fun fact for everyone who wants to do oyakudon, when you make dashi, you gotta add water. Cause
You don't make dashi.
sorry.
But
When
yeah.
when you have to incorporate dashi into your recipe,
Yeah.
you have to put water because most of the time when they sell it, because it's a soup starter.
I think so. Here, okay, the tip is if the recipe calls for dashi and you buy dashi,
You gotta add water.
just read the bottle. Go through every small piece of text on
We did
that
not.
label,
Yeah.
okay? And if it says concentrate, add water.
Yeah, add water. We,
We
did
did
not.
not.
Yeah. So it was I'm surprised that I finished. It was really good. Honestly, it was really good.
It was
But
just super salty.
yeah.
Well, okay, and I know we didn't intend for this, but because it was so salty, we can now use that same, because I couldn't finish mine because it was too salty for me.
We can use it for 3
So we
meals.
can use um that same serving, just add more rice and
And
like
chicken,
cook
yeah.
chicken, and I could eat it for 3 more meals.
Yeah.
So, yay, more savings.
Yeah. So, these are things that we are doing now. Like, I didn't think I'd have to do it before. Or, like, it
Yeah,
was not
that's
in the
true.
realm before.
That's true.
Because, I don't know, when you're growing up, your parents don't actually, I mean, our parents they didn't make you feel the burden of them having to think about that. It's like, that meme where, it's like, you're dancing with the Wii, like you're playing Wii Sports,
Mm-hmm.
and your parents are like trying to figure out the financial
Yeah.
crisis because they lost like the mortgage,
Yeah,
everything, and you're just
yeah.
like, dun dun dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun.
dun dun. Dude, you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's because I don't know if we were sheltered, which we probably were, but it's a rude awakening now
Yeah.
because it's you are an adult now, and you gotta deal with these things.
Yeah, like this space heater thing. Like I never thought that.
Trivial things: the space heater, the fucking dashi that almost ruined the meal.
Yeah.
What other taxes that came out of nowhere? It's a good thing I had money in my bank account, because if I didn't, I would be fucked. The IRS would like send agents into my room, like, "Where's the money?"
And it's interesting because growing up, um, in my family, every Sunday we would eat out, and I had a specific, like, I like sit down places, so I would always choose a nice place. And sometimes I'd hear my dad make a side comment like, "Ito na naman," or like, "There again, like it's not that good and it's pricier than what it's worth."
Like, whatever,
And
dad.
in my head, I'm like, "Whatever, dad. Like you always pay for it anyway." Like in my head, of course, I would never say this to him, but in my head, it was like, "Whatever. Like you,
Dude, you can afford this
you
shit.
yeah,
Like,
you
come on, man.
you can do
Just
this.
pay for
Like
the pay
I've
for the
seen
CPK.
you got this." And then now I'm like, "Oh, I know now. I see what that was about."
You know, when mom, let's go to McDonald's. We have McDonald's at home,
Yeah, that's me now.
and the kids are like, I don't want the McDonald's at home, but as an adult, yeah,
You want the
you can
McDonald's
make a
at
burger at
home?
home. I've been making burgers at home for the last few
Yeah.
weeks,
No, and you know what's another thing?
and it's cheaper.
Recently I keep telling you that I've been craving, like, oh, I want ramen, oh, I want pho, but I never like actually order from
Mm.
Uber Eats. Like before, that was such a, oh, I want something. Yeah, I'm gonna go order
Buy
it
it.
on Uber
Yeah.
Eats. Yeah, I'm gonna ask my parents if we can have this for dinner. Now, I look at Uber Eats and I'm like, do I really want to spend this much?
Yeah.
Do I really want to add this much money to the cost of the meal just for someone else to get it to me? And then I
Mhm.
have to tip them,
Mm-hmm.
which is what, plus $10 immediately.
That's why when Gabe and I treat my family to dinner, our go-to is Popeyes.
Oh
Because
my god,
Popeyes
Poch.
is so good and relatively cheap. Actually, it's cheap. Popeye, like, you could feed 10 people for
Yeah, Popeyes is so
what,
good.
less than $20.
Yeah, Popeyes is so good.
A fun fact. Life hack. Um Always save your receipts from Popeyes,
Oh yeah.
because if you answer the survey, this is for people in the US. If you answer the survey and you just buy a large drink, just like for example, you answer the survey, buy a large drink in Popeyes, they will give you 2 pieces of chicken and a biscuit. Just showing the receipt.
Yeah, dude, that's a meal.
Yeah. So
You
that's like unlimited chicken, basically.
You turned your drink into a meal.
You know why? Because when you get the receipt for your drink, guess what? Answer the survey again. And then you just get chicken forever. But obviously Popeyes is not the healthiest. But we have to do what we got to do, because um the sad fact is, since we are just starting out in our adult life, we are low income individuals, but we're dinks. We're dinks.
Double income, no kids.
Yeah.
No, and I always think this is sort of my disaster brain working. This is, well, hopefully, this is the smallest amount of money we'll be making because, incrementally,
Yeah,
Like because
it's just gonna get better from here, hopefully.
it's hopefully
I
it'll
mean,
just get better, right?
statistically speaking,
Yes, that's
it
how
will
it
get
works.
better from here.
But also, this is the cheapest living expenses we'll ever have.
Yeah, because one
Like
day,
what we have right now
we'll have a
is the
bigger,
cheapest.
yeah, we'll have a bigger apartment. We might have kids. We might have, and then
If
you
we
know,
want to get a house, it's like the
yeah,
mortgage, the property tax, everything,
we
everything,
get
everything.
a car loan. You get a kid. You got to pay for
Yeah.
but this is the most. This is the least we have, and the least we'll have to spend on things.
Yeah.
And I mean, it gives us something to look forward to in the future. More money, more problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, that's basically where we're at now. I mean, I don't know how other people feel about their situations. I mean, let us know in the comments. Is life harder for you now that you're older, or is it easier? Are you thinking about moving out of your house? Are you preparing for that? Have you already moved out of your house? How's that going for you? Like, is that I mean, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Is it like, is it better for you? I don't know. Cause for us, we've basically laid down what it feels like to be alone. Is that a Hosier song? To be alone.
I don't know. Sing it.
To be so lonely pala. My bad.
That's not Hosier. That's Harry Styles.
God damn, who am I talking about?
To be so alone.
So who's to be alone? Yeah, it is Hosier. Okay, sorry. I might get DMCA'd. But basically, that's all we have to say for the week.
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe what are some final words or like last piece of advice?
Find a high income job. The job that you have now, are they paying you a lot? If it's yes, stay there. No, 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 no. I feel like that's a different discussion. But in terms of like budgeting, I guess, because that's basically what we discussed. A lot money for everything. I mean, obviously you have mandatory things, you have savings, but then also have some money for yourself a month. And it's like, as much as you would wanna max out your savings or like spend all your money on mandatory things, try to have some money for yourself. I think there's like the 80-20-10 rule, or the
What? 50, 30, 20.
sorry, 50 whatever, dude, I don't know.
Dude, that was 110%.
Yeah, you got to go all the way, bro. Keep going. Don't stop.
I think
That's what she
50,
said.
30, 20.
50-30. Yeah, so
Mhm.
50 on mandatory things, 30 on savings, and 20 on like
Fun. Like
fun,
yourself.
yeah, fun things. I mean, it depends on it depends on your expenses, but I think that's like the general rule that people have. Um I think it doesn't make sense if you are cheap in one aspect but you just massively spend on another. I feel like it's better if you balance everything versus maxing out one and then leaving something out. Like, I know, for example, there's some people that I know who they don't replace the sponges that they have, but they buy like expensive food. Like, like it's like, it's basically like how some people buy nice shoes but their underwear has been the same for the last 7 years, and there's like already holes. So yeah, you wanna balance it out now that you are an adult. Now that we are adults.
Yeah, and I think while it's good, and this is also for me, like while it's good to have like aspirations or try to live that dream life you've always wanted, it's also like super important to be practical. And like just because you can't afford it now doesn't mean you can't afford it ever. So
Mm-hmm.
don't feel sad that things aren't looking the way you thought they were going to look, because you just need to prepare yourself for it, I think. That's what I think. Like, I'm not in that place to have this thing or that right now, but if I lay the foundation for it, then hopefully in the future I'll get it. And I don't feel bad about it, because I also don't want to put myself in the position where I buy something that is not super necessary and then I pay the price literally and figuratively.
I think lastly, it's also as much as you budget and you're saving for things and doing things, it's also nice to just I mean, the reason why you have money to spend on for fun is so that you don't Like, you don't let life pass you by. Like, you can,
Yeah.
as much as you want to hit milestones, like, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a house. There are in-betweens. And, like,
Yeah.
spending money on fun things in those in-betweens make you enjoy life. Because if you're just living towards every milestone, are you really living life?
Wow.
This has been the DDLD podcast with Poch, who paid his taxes this week.
And Gabe, who paid her credit card bills this week.
We will see you in the next episode.
Goodbye.
And remember
Oh,
to
not
like, subscribe, and comment. And share the episode, please. We know if you don't share it or not. Like,
Yeah, we can tell.
We can see you, bro.
Who
We can see you, bro.
watches and listens
Like
to
right
this.
now. Go to your home screen, share the link right now. I'm gonna wait.
I can see you.
We can also
Deo.
hear you.
Oh.
Yeah, Deo got a shout out. Yeah,
I can.
fuck you, Deo.
I can.
I'm sorry. No, but yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Good night.
Goodbye.
Good night.